Today I'm joined with the man, the myth, the Sharky legend, and the mastermind behind Stags Yarrow.
Hello.
So do you want to give everyone a bit of an intro to you and your place in Stags and what Stags even is?
Yep. I'm Hamish, or Stags Yarrow, which has just been my musical project band thing for the past few years. Kind of like, you know, the solo band, but not quite a solo band, like the Medica kind of Chelsea Wolfe kind of vibe, where it's like, you know, I'm playing metal, like Marilyn Manson kind of, you know what I mean? Like hard, dark music, but you know, I've had Junior and Ron for the past little bit anyway, but yeah, spooky music. Spooky music.
It's such a good time with, like, especially the latest album, which we'll circle back around to. So good, and I can't wait for an excuse to just like pick your brain on these songs.
Yeah.
But obviously, point of the show is to get into kind of, you know, the origin story of who you are. It's for the people who might not know you intimately or, you know, heard you floating around, and so this is you know, like, where did it all begin?
Yeah.
So right back to the very beginning. Like,
so,
where did you start?
A man and a woman loved each other very much.
I think that might get us a little bit demonetized. So we'll skip ahead probably a few years, I assume, to, like, your first show. Like, how did you get into music?
Yeah, well, music I've been playing for a while. Even before I played any instruments or sang or anything, you know, when you're, like, in the car as a kid and, like, you just kind of have your earphones in and you're just, like, trying to sleep or whatever, and you kind of just, like, visualize scenarios like you do when you go to sleep.
Yeah.
I used to always be doing that, and then just like I'd be visualizing me like on a stage playing whatever I was listening to. It was usually like Lifehouse or something like that.
Love that. Oh my god.
But yeah, no, I started playing guitar in 2011, so music since then. But you know, properly doing. I've had a few kind of projects over the years. My first actual show though was with a band called Grim Remney, which I did vocals for a little bit. Anyway, Stags started in 2023 in March because I was just on the couch with a broken ankle and I was like, I need like an outlet, and I just started writing folk songs.
Oh my god, what a place to start.
Yeah.
Good lord. 2023, that is so much younger than I thought like this
yeah.
project was.
Yeah, I guess like because other than Grim, which wasn't my music, I joined later and was just singing their songs live. You know, I had my other two bands, which were very much like a solo project trying to get band members, kind of like Stags is. So Stags in a way it's still like, I've been doing this for years, it's just the current and final form, you know what I mean?
The final evolution.
Yeah, exactly. My first, you know, the thrash band I had, Depredum, in like 2018 and 2019, that was like my starter Pokemon.
Yeah.
You know, and then I like trained a little bit, and then I became Fist, which is like Thorn, Thorn. You know, it was like blackened prog. I don't know about it. Yeah. And yeah, we landed on Stags basically, which is kind of like, you know, whiz folk. It's because I was in Grim Remney, which is like metalcore, and so I was just like, I don't want to do more metal. I just want to sing. And then I left Grim, and I was like, oh, I want to do metal again. So then Stags just had that city vibe, but like, rah, you know.
Yeah. It's like, because I came across Stags Yarrow, like, even before I really got into any of the scenes, because I've always been a hermit, and I hate people, so I avoid them like the plague, and now I can't. But even back then, like, I'd come across your stuff, and I was just like, this guy is from New Zealand? That's cool as fuck. I had not really heard anything like Stags Yarrow before.
Cool.
So it was really fun for me to just feel like, and then I met him through work.
Yeah.
We worked together on a gig, and I'm sitting in the background just being like,
really?
They're really like, we're all working, and I was still at the point where I'm just like, I'm just a fucking help, bro. I shouldn't be talking to anybody. And then everyone's just really nice. I'm like, oh, and now they're here. Which is a wild, like, circle of events.
Yeah. I guess, you know, you don't usually hear stories like that from other people's points of view.
Yeah.
So that's so interesting to like. That's cool.
So I started like looking up New Zealand punk music, and then I came across yours on like some Spotify playlist. I'm like, this is sick as fuck. So yeah.
Do you remember what the song was?
It was Fear.
Fear, hell yeah.
Which is such a good fucking song.
Yeah. It's that was the second Stag song. Yeah. I mean, there are songs actually which were written long before Fear, which were originally for like other things that just became Stags, like Death by Desire from the album, which we'll get to, I guess. But yeah, Flair was the second song written for Stags.
That's awesome.
Mm.
But yeah, it cracks me up, like, the timeline of, like, and now we're here.
Yeah, yeah.
Sitting on my couch surrounded by sharks.
Sharks, yeah.
Life is very strange.
Yeah.
Well, obviously you've been doing this for a very long time, but, you know, Stags being fairly young, but you've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So, my favourite question to ask, especially in these kind of, like, performative industries, is do you have an insane story that you can share? It's like your favourite, like, what is my life right now?
I think a lot of the stories that I can share that are related to being in music, most of the ones that are on stage is just like technical difficulties. Like, for example, when I was playing in Grimrimney one time, this guy tried to give us our bassist a glass of water, and he spilt the water on the bro's pedal.
Oh, fuck.
But otherwise, just technical difficulties,
Yeah.
you know, stuff with like miscommunications with sound takes and stuff like that. But otherwise, the thing that I always find the funniest in the trio of Junior on drums, Rowan on bass, and me, you know, I love rage baiting them. It's so much fun, in particular Junior.
Yeah.
Like Rowan, you know, he gets rage baited the same way that I do. Like, he wants to correct things if he knows they're wrong. Like, if somebody says something like, if they pronounce something incorrectly, I'm gonna like be like, actually, you know, and he's the same. But Junior is so easy to rage bait, which just makes him a prime target. And what I discovered is, if you get Rowan, like, you know, if you give him too much alcohol, then you can weaponize him against Junior. And then
that's me.
Yeah. So when we played the Gisborne show of the tour, we went down on the Thursday, stayed overnight, had all Friday to just chill, stayed overnight again, played on Saturday, and then stayed overnight, came up on Sunday. I think that's what we did, something like that. And then anyway, for those nights in the Airbnb, bro, like I was just making sure Rowan would keep on it, and then Junior the next day would be like, I'm not mad at Rowan, Hamish, I'm angry at you, because I know what you're doing. Junior got no sleep.
Oh my god. And I love that carries over to you guys, like, stage presence. And we've actually had this conversation after a gig, where I was saying, like, my favourite thing is when you get to watch genuine interactions happen on stage, where it's like, whether it's something goes wrong, or, you know, someone misses a lyric, misses a beat, but when bands actually interact, you're like, cool, that's probably not happening at every gig. This is a moment that I've now shared with you as the performer and audience. And you and Junior just fucking going each other on stage. And it's the funniest thing to watch, because, like, you'll be doing your thing, and Junior's just, like, locking eyes and be like, I don't know what this man's fucking doing. And it's like a little comedy sketch happening at the same time as, like, folk metal, which is a really fascinating combination.
Yeah, we roast each other a little bit on stage. Obviously, it's always as a joke. Like, you know, it's like we've got a few reels on Instagram where he's like, fuck this, I'm done with Stags Yarrow and stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, we just like go at each other. It's just good fucking, it's just funny.
It's so entertaining to watch. It is one of my favourite things about, like, live music is having those interactions, even just watching it happen. You're like, that was really funny.
You know, because, like, most of the music I listen to is very, like, dark and spooky. And when I see live videos of it on YouTube, for example, it's very much like they don't talk between their songs because they're trying to maintain this, like, atmosphere, which is cool.
Yeah.
But, you know, my first band that I've actually played gigs with was Grimrimney. And, like, they, as you saw at the farewell for New Zealand gig, they don't take themselves seriously at all.
It's so entertaining.
Yeah. And so the first few gigs that I did with them, Spinny, he's one of the guitarists in Grimrimney, his mate, also called Hamish, came along, and he'd go, Grimrim job! And then, you know, obviously I would just yell back at him, like, fuck you, bro, and stuff. And so the way that I learned to kind of speak between songs and interact with the crowd was just roasting them, you know? And so...
That tracks,
Yeah. And so now it's like with Stags Yarrow, even if I want to be spooky and dark and stuff, like, it's just kind of muscle memory. If I get awkward and don't know what to say, I'm just going to kind of revert to just being an idiot.
Yeah.
Which I think works, though. It's nice to kind of, you know, break up. It's not so tense, the whole, you know, concert. It kind of feels like you're just hanging out.
Yeah.
Feels like everyone's just mates in the same room, like, just, you know, you're playing music for them, you know?
It is a lot more of, like, a comfortable vibe, especially as someone who is like, I have social anxiety, and a lot of the series started with me being like, I wish there were videos of people explaining what it's like to go into these scenes and kind of what to expect as someone who has no fucking idea what's going on at any point. And it makes it really easy for someone who is awkward and socially awkward and nervous to be there to just hear jokes going on and hear you talking to the crowd as if we're all mates, and like I think you can hear me in the recordings just pissing myself laughing in the background. And it makes it a really welcoming space, which obviously you know metal has this kind of aura of like, oh, big scary, and as a woman coming into it, that's really scary as well. And like there's a room full of men and they're all screaming about weird shit, and then you just start making stupid jokes and you're just like, oh, I am safe and this is fine and it is okay.
And like, don't get me wrong, obviously I roast the audience, but like I also do not mind being the butt of the joke. Like, you know, on stage, because we brought up Shark, I was wearing the Shark onesie at the farewell gig, and so like while one of them was tuning, maybe Ron was tuning his bass, I don't know what was happening. You know, I was just making like shark puns, you know, I've got no fin left to lose, stuff like that, you know. It was pretty awesome. But you know, just like stuff that I know is gonna make people have that reaction. I don't mind being the butt of the joke, bro. Like it's you know, it's just being an idiot, not taking it seriously at all, you know.
Which I think is really cool to see, especially like in the metal scene, where you're there because you're having a good time. You're there because you want others to have a good time, and you're inviting that like interaction. Just be like, guys, we're here listening to fucking doom music. Like we're just fucking hang out.
Like this is sad music. It's dark music. It's, you know, spooky music. But like, you know, like we play that kind of music because it helps us feel better. You know what I mean? So like, as well as kind of that cathartic outlet, like you also feel better sometimes from comedy, you know, from just like not taking things seriously.
It is also nice because, like, you know, by the end of an entire show, you've been there for a few hours. It's kind of nice to not feel like you have to sit there and be serious. Like you can crack a joke and be like, it is a good reset. And I found weirdly that like those moments in between songs, you guys are like tuning up and you're cracking jokes, it almost highlighted the melancholy of the next song, where you're like, that's kind of the point, is that, you know, there are moments of laughter and then there are moments of like sorrow, and like both can be beautiful.
Exactly. I think also like, because as like a local musician, a lot of the people who are at the gigs will be people who know me personally, and so, you know, obviously my mates know about, you know, whatever has happened and does happen in my life, but I think it can be, you know, uncomfortable if I sing, you know, like 3 real depressing songs in a row. Like, I just feel like everyone's just watching me, like, air out my dirty laundry, you know, just like, oh, look at me, I'm sad, and I don't want people, like, it feels very, like, I'm exposed or very vulnerable, you know? And so, I guess if you just make a joke about it, you can kind of... you know, something came to mind, I should have said this before when you asked about, you know, like, funny things that have happened, but, or crazy things or whatever, but, in Grimrimney, we used to have this intro to the set, which was just like this instrumental, and we'd go into playing the first, like, you know, actual song. And at one practice, LB was just like, oh yeah, bro, like you should sing All Star over it as a joke. And I thought he was being serious. And then so I just did it, and then I did that every single time we played the intro, and then it came up like however long later. He was just like, oh, you know, I was just joking, right? But every single time I would sing All Star over this.
How did it not come up sooner that he was joking as well?
I think because he just thought like that's actually kind of crack up. Like, why stop him?
Yeah, fair.
You know, like I'm joking, but like I don't mind.
No, because it's also for anyone who hasn't seen Stags Yarrow live, you guys usually play a meme song somewhere in the set, which has become one of my favorite things. I've been like, what the fuck are they gonna play now?
What's it gonna be this time?
So where did that come from, the All-Star moment? Like, where did that originate from?
I think the fact that it's something I would do probably comes from Grim. Like, I've actually said to some of the Grim guys before that, like, I think having spent that year in Grim is the reason that I, you know, do stuff like meme songs on stage. But where it started was on Insta, because, you know, I'm quite active on like my Insta stories and stuff. I like to like interact with the listener base and whatnot. I put, before this show last year in June, on my story, I was saying like, oh, you know, should we play flippin' Fruit Salad by the Wiggles, like, as a joke? And everyone was like, yeah, play Fruit Salad. And I was thinking, like, alright, like, you know, I'm competitive enough, like, you guys have, like, tested me, like, I'm gonna do it. These guys don't know what's about to hit them. So we play, like, death metal fruit salad.
Yeah.
And then when we went to New Plymouth the following month, that was our next show. I was like, damn, like, we should do another meme song. Let's crack up.
Yeah.
And then, so we did Scooby-Doo, and it just became, like, a thing. It was just, like, each time, like, how can we make this funnier?
Yeah.
You know, so we've done some pretty good stuff now, like Espresso, Hot to Go, you know. We've done some, like, we always do triple meme songs now. The one in Hamilton that you saw, that was the first triple meme song we did.
That was fucking brilliant.
Yeah, it was, what was it? It was Sweet Caroline into Raining Blood into Hit Me Baby One More Time.
Which was such a fun note to, like, end on.
Yeah.
Like, that came through, I'm just like,
yeah.
okay, sure.
Yeah.
So, obviously, like, we've gone through so many fantastic stories and kind of how you got from a kid listening to music in the car, imagining himself playing on stage, to doing that and doing that professionally.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for, you know, those kids who are sitting in the car listening to music and thinking they're on stage? What advice would you give for the next generation of people wanting to come out and do what you do?
Obviously, like, it's good to be able to rely on yourself as much as you can, because, you know, there are definitely times when relying on others, like, sets you back. But with that said, you'll never, you know, get far enough if you don't have community and if you don't have people around and allow people to help you and help other people and stuff. And I think for a long time, you know, my approach was very, like, I think it was very narrow. So, you know, for example, when I first was trying to get into the scene, I would, like, go to, like, a rock bar, and I went to Ding Dong Lounge in Auckland, and I'd just get the Jenga set from behind the bar, go up to, like, groups of, like, drunk strangers and just be like, oh, hey, like, do you want to play Jenga? Like, oh, do you play music? That was kind of my way.
Yeah.
And then I would just, you know, try to see if I could find someone to play drums or to play bass or whatever. And that was always my approach to meeting people, and I think that restricted me from meeting enough people and from getting experience, because I was so focused on, like, just building this band that I was trying to build, and that's why, like, my first two bands never really went anywhere. And what could have helped more is if I, you know, found some local bands and just started going to their gigs, because by being at gigs all the time now, you know, usually just because I'm playing at the gigs, to be fair, but, you know, you meet so many more people, you meet people in the scene. And when I had accepted to join Grim Rimney, because they reached out to me, LB was just like, I don't want to do vocals and play guitar anymore, you know. You know, doing that and allowing myself to just be like, this isn't my main project, but I'm just going to do this, that gave me so much experience that I wouldn't have gotten, because I knew so little, obviously. I'd never played live before. I knew nothing about, you know, how soundcheck works, like what load-in's like and stuff like that, you know, what it's like to have a band that consistently rehearses, you know. So just kind of do it, just, like, surround yourself with like-minded people, just go to the gigs, just, you know, show up in the scene. It's basically all about experience, I think. When you have experience, which you get from being around people, and when you make those connections, when you go out of your way to help people, and when you allow other people to help you, then it's just this community which functions and everyone grows and gets better. Yeah,
that's one thing that I've seen so much in the work that I do with Doug Fest, is that so much of it is, like, mates and favors called in and been like, oh, like, we're happy to come along because we know you. And it's such a small community that it really is, like, it's not necessarily who you know, but it's so friendship based, which is really funny. Obviously, if you're, like, fresh, you're like, no, punk scene seems scary. It's like, no, everyone's just like, everyone is friends. If you go, you are now my best friend. And we're just here to have a good time. And if you can have a good time, then you're going to go really far.
Yeah, I mean, like, a lot of the mates that I've made as an adult have been, you know, like, I was trying to network with someone, but then in turn they ended up, I just was like, damn, dude, it's so cool. And then they just become friends. You know, Jay from Exit Sign, one of my favorite people.
Love that man so much.
Yeah, he's great. He's such a good dude. And originally I was just like, you know, he's nice, you know, and Exit Sign, this is when they were very new. You know, they're cool. I think they make some pretty cool music, you know. Like Community Treatment Order, I see them as friends. I think they're really nice people. Originally I just saw one of their first shows and I was like, oh, like, fuck, they're real cool. I'll, like, you know, try to, like, network with them a little bit. And now it's like, you know, obviously beyond a network at this point. It's, you know, it's the more important, the higher priority for me is the friendship.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, it is such a great group of people, and it helps. It obviously, like, you're all there because you have similar interests.
Yeah.
And you can kind of run off that, but like, there are so many people that I've met that have become like some of my closest mates because we all happen to be at a gig, and you get to a point where you're like, I recognize you. You were at that last gig, and then you have something to kind of build off from there.
Yeah.
And now like this, like we worked a gig together, and then I came to your next gig, and now you're sitting on my couch.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It just goes around.
Yeah.
So metal and punk and especially like folk metal as a subgenre is very like niche as a sound.
Yeah.
My favorite topic ever is just like niche things.
Yeah.
So, is there a niche community that you are interested in that you have yet to join?
Not necessarily in the context of music. Or...
Yeah, just anything.
Oh, that's
just
cool
something that
question.
you're like, I don't know how to get started in this competitive crocheting community, but I really want to find out more about this and just see what people are curious about.
I think that there are a lot of things which like I am interested in, and I think that like stereotypes are usually what will push me away from a niche community, which is dumb. The same way how you were saying like, oh, like punk's scary, and then people find out it's not.
Yeah.
Right. But you know, like for example, I am a big fan of hiking. You know what I mean? I spend enough time in the outdoors. You know, sometimes I think if I worry if I joined like a hiking club that it's like, okay, every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. we're gonna get up and do this now. And it's just like, I think I assume when I join a niche community that that's gonna be 100% of their personality, rather than have variety. I had joined one niche community which was kind of like, not LARPing, but like very like historical kind of, that kind of stuff. And I think the reason that I left that particular community is that like it seemed like that was the only thing they were interested in, which was a bit much. But yeah, like I'm a big like history nerd. You know what I mean? I've finally started to enjoy cooking. You know what I mean? Like after years of being like, oh, cooking's so boring. I should eat the food. You know, so I think finding a community of more outdoor people, finding a community where people are, interested in history and stuff without it being like overbearing. Like those are some things I'd be interested in.
Yeah, that'd be very cool. You could not pay me to go on a hike, I'm not gonna lie.
Fair enough.
Yeah, as you can tell, with the winter coat that I constantly have on, I'm not a hiker. Love the outdoors from afar.
Yeah, to look at.
Like, full respect, because I imagine it's so, like, cathartic to go for a good hike and be in nature.
Yeah.
But I'm just so pathetically unfit.
Yeah, you just have to live somewhere super rural, so, like, you don't have to walk far to be in nature.
That'd be nice. Probably should address the biggest question that everyone's been asking, everyone who knows. What the fuck is up with all the sharks?
What the fuck is up with all the sharks? Why do I have a shark tattooed on my wrist?
I also have a shark tattoo.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I got like two. I got one like back in there somewhere.
Oh yeah. Is that like a whale shark?
Yeah, it's a sparkle whale shark.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's sick.
No, I also.
That's brave. I got this literally yesterday.
Yeah.
It was a stick and poke.
Ooh, that's brave.
Oh yeah. Well, to be fair, these are both stick and pokes as well.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so this is a great hammerhead, and that's a leopard seal.
Love the hammerhead representation.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, well, I really like animals in general. Like, I'm a big animal person. Just like, if you come up to me and you're like, oh, this species of this animal, did you know that this thing about its biology? I'll be like, whoa, tell me more, you know? I guess that's another niche community, animal-related thing,
Yeah.
you know? We were, for the tour we were doing earlier in the year, as well as the meme songs, we wanted to have an extra meme that we would just put into the set. Obviously, for the Hamilton one, it was giving Doug the trophy.
That was so funny.
And well, like we just wanted to go above and beyond and like really create the performance, right? Like in Auckland, we did a lolly scramble.
Which is, I am so mad that more bands don't. I'd like to send a request to every band ever to please start doing lolly scrambles.
Yeah, straight up.
Because like a drunk lolly scramble would just make my fucking night.
Yeah.
Best way to start a mosh pit as well. Just be like a lolly scramble into a mosh pit, people scramble for it.
Like in the middle of the song. Yeah, but for Wellington, we were like, it's the last show of the tour. We need to like just make it fucking so crazy. And we were like, why don't we just like go in costumes, So Rowan went as Jesus. Junior was like a dark wizard, basically Brackenwood Coven, if you know who that band is.
Love them, yeah.
And then I was going through NZ Onesie, which is just this onesie website. Not sponsored, but sponsor me. I'll buy more. And I just found the shark, and I love animals. I love sharks. Aquatic animals in general. I obviously also love seals. But yeah, I was like, fuck, the shark has to be it. And then around the same time, as that concert, like something, I forgot what it was now, but something related to sharks came up, and it wasn't just like my phone listening to me and like giving me shark stuff. Maybe somebody brought it up in conversation, and I think I started thinking like, damn, like what? Why are sharks coming up so much? Like, is the universe speaking to me right now? So I kind of went down this rabbit hole of like sharks and stuff, and then I was like, damn, this animal which I already thought was so cool, I was just learning so much more about it, and I think that just kind of made me be like, yeah, bro, like, flipping. Also, because this is very comfy, I must say, right? And I was at home one day like this, just like watching Netflix or eating dinner or whatever.
And his little fucking flippers. Oh my god.
Yeah, heck yeah. Like when I get in the mosh, and if I had this on, I have to put the fit. Yo, yeah, straight up. So I was at home like this, just chilling, you know. And I was like, I'm kind of hungry. Like, I'm gonna go get fish and chips. Not actually fish. I don't eat animal products, but just I don't know, fritter and chips. Yeah. But fish and chip shop, and I was down there thinking like, I wasn't going to get any change, so I just rocked up on it. I don't care enough that much what people think. Yeah. And I was just down there eating my food in my car, like in the shark onesie, and I was thinking that's kind of funny, fish and chips shark. But then because I had the food, I was like, this gave me energy, and I was like, damn, now I want to go to the gym, and I wasn't bothered going home, and I had this brilliant idea. I was like, I'm a gym shark. So I went to
the entire thing hurt my soul. Oh my god.
But I did chest and shoulders, and this kid who must have been like 17 or something came up to me. He was like, yo bro, can I get a selfie?
That's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and that night made me realize how fucking funny it is just wearing this in the most like heinous situations. Yeah. So I'd rock up to, not all the time, but like every now and then I'd rock up to a gig in there. So I'd go to the gym, like I texted my mate saying, oh, by the way, when I meet you at the gym, I'm going to be wearing the shark onesie, and he didn't believe me. And so when I showed up, he saw me, he was like,
brother.
But yeah, I don't know. I think after enough time of doing something, if it's like repeated enough, it just kind of becomes a meme. Yeah. So I love sharks, like that's obviously part of it, but I think a lot of the Stags Yarrow is just because people know about it. It's like the buy rice meme, So many people still say buy rice. One dude, he came up to me at the Christchurch show and he was like, oh dude, I was going to bring a sign that said buy rice and I forgot. But like, right. The fact that like, once something's repeated enough, it just goes. So, yeah. I'm kind of maintaining an image too. Yeah.
And it becomes so fun to kind of like stick with it, especially if you're known for it like as a performer. Yeah. So these are my sharks. You did not bring these with you. This is all my feeling. Imagine you rock up to an interview with just like your pile of sharks.
Yeah, by the way, these are being in the interview.
By the way, these are joining us. So these are all my bad boys. And I think it started as like, I found one and I thought it was really cute. And then, because there's not actually a lot of shark plushies, so when I do find one, I get so excited because they're hard to find.
Yeah, right.
And then people started noticing that I was buying them, and it became like the thing that like jacks into like sharks.
Oh, true.
And then it's just become who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Now, I think my favorite, like one of these, I'm pretty sure it is this one in particular. I came home from work on my birthday to this sitting outside my door with just no context. And
nice.
At first I was just like, oh, funny as, and so I like messaged a few of my mates who lived in town, like, oh, like, who got the shark? And it was just like, I didn't leave you a shark. And then so I start sitting there, and then I'm just like, who knows where I live?
And that you like sharks.
And that I like sharks. And so I'm sitting there starting to be like, oh, did I get stalked? Do I have a secret admirer who's leaving me shark plushies? And I posted it to my story being like, I'm a little bit worried, and my mate goes, oh, I left that for you, because he lives in Auckland, but he was travelling through and didn't tell me. And he's like, yeah, I left you a note. He left me a sticky note on a windy day stuck to a plushie. Weirdly, that flew away. So then with no context,
crazy.
So I'm sitting there like, that's so sweet. Who the fuck left this outside of my house?
Do you know what the sticky note was supposed to have said?
He said it said like, happy birthday, Jack Slotflin.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, knowing that it was from Flynn
Wholesome.
would have made me feel a lot more comfortable.
Yeah.
And a sun plushie arriving outside my door.
Yeah.
Just fucking terrifying. To be like,
crack
but yeah. So the other thing that everyone has been asking, everyone wants the details on, is obviously this latest album that by the time you're saying this will have been out, so you better fucking listen to it already. And if not, don't go do it right now. Wait until the end of this and then go back and listen to it.
Yeah. And then rewatch this
and then
interview
rewatch this
with the context of having listened to the album.
Yeah. Or you can like code do it where you can pause this now and then bring it up on like your computer, Spotify, start listening to it as we talk.
Yeah.
It's not going to match up at all and it's going to get really confusing.
Just rinse
but,
and repeat.
Yeah, that is an option that you can do as well.
Yeah.
So,
try all of the above.
Yeah, and then comment down below which one was like the most painful option for you. Which was the most overstimulating option.
Yeah. You could have like a phone and an iPad with like earphones. The album in this ear, the interview.
Don't forget to set it to mono though, so you don't miss out on like the quality. You have to set it to
true.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah. So this latest album, Sutures, is coming out, and I had the honor of listening to it beforehand, so that I can talk about it. Yay! And it is such a fucking incredible album. I had so much fun just listening to it back to back today. Which was a nightmare, because every time my phone screen turned off, it would pause the song, so I'd have to fucking sit there tapping my phone screen to keep playing.
True!
So I worked to listen to that song.
Yeah, nice. And they're not short songs
either.
either.
My favourite one was fucking Bottled Fuel and Broken Glass.
Yeah.
6-minute fucking song.
Yeah, I figured it would have been like a 4-minute song or something because it's like one of the 2 folk tracks. But yeah, when I saw the final length just on the timestamp, I was like, huh, that's crazy. I wrote another 5+ minutes on it.
So, whoops. To be fair, look, the last interview I did, I was like, yeah, there will be like max 10 minutes. And it was a 22-minute interview by accident. And I'm just like, when you're having a good time, it just gets away from you.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So what inspired this new album? What's the story behind this new album? Tell us all your secrets.
The songs on the album have kind of been written over the last few years, so it is a bit of a conglomeration, if that's a word, conglomerate of, like Death by Desire, for example, track number 9, was written kind of end of 2019, start of 2020. Obviously, there's that line in the song about, not stopping drinking and smoking and stuff. I haven't drank or smoked in many years, you know what I mean? So, there's some pretty old stuff, but all of the older songs on the album are stuff that I've kind of been very proud of and, not wanted to let go of. Because there's been enough songs over the years I've written and just kind of been like, okay, that's very that era of Hamish, I think a lot of the songs are about death, which is just pretty like me to write about death. I'm very deathy. But yeah, the concept from it's not a concept album. The concept from the title perspective anyway, was Sutures. It's kind of my favorite band is called Funerals. In fact, on my I can't remember what I get it, but on my T-shirt that I wore here, I haven't been wearing the shark all day. It's a Funerals T-shirt.
Nice.
This band from Leipzig, real cool. But they have this album called Wounds, which I really like. That's the album that got me into them originally, and I really liked the idea. And I thought it's not that my songs are that positive by any means. They're pretty dark, but I like the idea of the music, dark or otherwise, being used for a positive thing. It's sure, I'm singing about, Funeral is about my mate who died, Certain is about my mate's dad who died, so on and so forth,
right.
But it's that in and of itself is healing. So it's rather than just commenting on the wounds, it's singing about the wounds so that they can kind of be stitched up, I guess.
Yeah.
And then so the songs that there's kind of the sutures. It's that's kind of the idea of that.
That's really cool. I didn't know the backstory to that, but that makes all the songs make sense and also really beautiful.
Yeah, I mean even the ones that aren't too terribly sad, that the 2 folk songs, they're basically, each of them are just about different friends of mine who have moved overseas. So Bottled Fuel is about a mate who was not from here originally, and then was here for a year and then left again, and it was just oh, sad. and the other one, Meaningless, is about my mate who moved back home as well to Canada. And the kind of concept of that song is just like, damn, like I feel like I've known you in like a different life before this. Like, you know, our meeting and friendship can't be a coincidence. You know what I mean? Yeah.
No, I love that. And then we have to ask, what the fuck is up with moving? You're leaving us.
Yeah, that's true. Now I'm the one who's moving.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say like. So it's Jay's turn to write a song about his best mate.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Exit Sign new album coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sutures 2.0. You know, I actually thought about for the encore of that last set we did. I thought about playing Bottled Fuel as like a kind of like sort of a joke, almost the only I would get.
Yeah.
But we didn't do that. But no, yeah, like obviously I love New Zealand's music industry, and I like what I've described about it, the community aspect of it, which is really cool. And obviously it's like, you know, people that I'm friends with have, you know, been friends with for some time, so it's going to be hard to move. You know, I think that certain moments, like at that gig, for example, there were people that I'm sure I won't see again before I go, and I was just like on the inside, like, you know. But this is, you know, my life. The day job, you know, my kind of means to an end I had for 3 years before I recently left that job. I liked it for a while, and I was like in a role where I like worked myself up the ladder a bit, and I enjoyed it for a bit until I just got so burnt out from it. And what I realized is like, if I'm not doing that which makes me like truly fulfilled, eventually I'm gonna burn out. Eventually I'm gonna feel like it's sucking the soul out of me, you know. And I need to do something which is like meaningful. I need to do something that it's like this is what I'm supposed to do. And for me, that's music. I feel that unless I'm following like a kind of more commercial path, which I'm definitely not, then, you know, the ceiling in the music industry here is like here, you know. So even if I get to the ceiling, I'm gonna be here. Whereas I feel in Europe, for example, or you know, certain parts of Europe anyway, the ceiling could be up here. So even if I'm super far from it, I might still be doing better than I would here. So it's just, you know, it's a career decision. Germany, in and of itself, is a shot in the dark. I've never been to Germany. I spent some time living in Sweden, fun fact.
Lord.
You know, that's why I know Swedish. You know, you might have noticed the second song on the album is not in English. Yeah, I think Germany, it's got a good music industry. It's, you know, I think it'll be like the right kind of vibe, you know, like Leipzig has got that kind of like goth kind of vibe.
Yeah.
And, you know, my favorite band lives there, so.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna move anywhere, being like, that's where my favorite band is.
Yeah. I just have to start wearing turtlenecks now.
Yeah. No, I went to Germany. I have an aunt who lives in Germany.
Oh, true.
And it is such a beautiful place, and everyone is so nice.
Sweet.
And I could not get over their like cheese section in their supermarket is the size of like our entire supermarkets.
Nice.
Which is an insane experience to walk into. But it's a beautiful place, and everyone is so fucking nice.
That's cool.
The mimes are fucking terrifying.
The mimes. Oh, true.
Oh, dude, I don't know what the fuck is up with that. The mimes are like, I was a small child when I went, and they're just like, oh, you're scared of me? Let me make it worse.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck that was about.
They could like work at Spookers or something.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, thank you for traumatizing me forever, German mime.
Now you just can't look at mimes the same.
Yeah, so if you see a German mime, you know, avenge me.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I will one-ounce them for you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, sad to see you go, especially you are such like a pillar of the community, as well as the community that you yourself have built around Stags. It is going to be a shame to see that go, but obviously off to bigger and better things, and we'll have you home at some point for a reunion
the
tour.
Oceanic tour, yeah.
Like, when you're big and fancy.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like, it's not moving to Germany just for the sake of it. It's to continue to grow Stags Yarrow. So, you know, the idea will be to, you know, come have a tour around here, you know. And I think it's important to kind of always recognize your roots, you know, like a few days after I left my job, like I mentioned, my best friend and I went down to my hometown, which is Whanganui, for 4 days just to, you know, kind of reconnect a little bit. So, you know, I definitely am not the kind of person who would go there and be like, huh, New Zealand, what? Like, old friends, what? Who are they? You know what I mean? So, I'll definitely come back at some point. And, yeah, I think that in particular the all ages scene as well. I think that they tend to quite like Stags Yarrow and stuff. So I think, yeah, I mean it's sad.
It's sad, but it's like any, you know, closing a chapter for the next one. You can't stay in the same chapter and finish a book. You have to keep going.
The first line in Bottled Fuel and Broken Glass is beginnings always hide themselves in ends. Yeah. So there you go.
No, well, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you. I'm so glad that I got to steal you for a moment before you jet off to the next adventure. And I'm sure we'll look back at this at some point when you're doing your oceanic tour, and I get to be like, I fucking know him!
You know how like Billie Eilish has that thing where like she came back to the same interviews like a few years in a row? I do have something for you while we're here. Stay right there.
Something for me? Good
yes,
Lord.
I do. It's not a shark, unfortunately.
Oh, damn. I was like, we're adding to the pile?
Okay. So I tried to get you the most oversized one I could, but it's really not that oversized. It's only an extra large. But, the Lictors t-shirt...
Oh, shut the fuck up!
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
Only 12 of them were made. Only 12 of them will ever be made.
That's fucking sick. How did you also know that I like them oversized? What the fuck?
I have my connections.
Cool. Dude, I was gonna buy one, and then me and Doug had 5 hours to kill in Auckland before your gig, and we got drunk, and I spent so much money on bread that I physically could not buy a fucking t-shirt. Nice. And I'm like, it's okay, I'll suffer. I just kind of planned on like ordering one off a website next time you fucking ship them out. That's fucking sick. My god, that's good quality too.
Yeah.
Fucking look at that!
The Lictors. And you mentioned on that one reel that you like the Lictors too, so...
Yeah, they would fucking go.
Stonks.
Oh my god, it's a sick design as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Katie Harris, bassist from CTO, did that art.
Oh, that's awesome. Fucking I love your logo as well. I always loved like the design of your logo. I was like, that's a good fucking logo.
Rive Art. Look at them up on Instagram.
Fucking A. Well, thank you for that. That's stunning and very cool that I gifted this from the fucking man himself. The man, the myth, the Sharky legend.
Yeah. This guy.
We'll see if I can get this fucking hood back up.
Yeah.
There we go. Thumbnail! Stunning. Well, thank you for that.
Well, good.
That was so unexpected.
Hell yeah.
And thank you for coming along, and we'll see what you do next time, and we'll interview you when you're next back, and you can tell us all about your German adventures and your insane German stories. Yeah.
Frankfurters, sausages.
Yeah.
Volkswagen.
Yeah. Sure. Alright, we'll see you next time.